You know, somebody gave a good example. In Massachusetts, I think, 41% of the vote. It's a very, blue state. And yet it's got 100% of Congress, 100%. Did you notice they go to Illinois for safety? But that's all gerrymandered. California's gerrymandered. We should have many more seats in Congress in California. It's all gerrymandered. And we have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats.
Governor Greg Abbott is now calling for the arrest of more than 50 Texas Democrats.
I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate,
who fled their state hoping to block redistricting efforts. Those Democrats are now declaring an all-out war against the new map.
Joining us now for more is Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Governor Abbott just announced that he has ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to find and arrest the House Democrats who have fled the state. You're in the Chicago area with some of those Democratic representatives. What's the plan with them? Obviously, at some point, you have to return to the state of Texas eventually. So ultimately, does it seem that it's a foregone conclusion that this bill will pass?
I don't say ultimately. I never say ultimately because I don't have a give up attitude whatsoever. But right now, the governor has decided that he wants to waste more of Texans' resources by deciding that he's going to send out the troopers. And listen, I don't even think that he's going to do that. I think he's just talking. Earlier today, I posted a copy of the warrant that was signed by the speaker, because it's the speaker of the House that can put the call on the House, not the governor. And no one came to get me last time. In fact, it is a cute little warrant that has a cute little frame on it. And so they like to talk a big game, but the reality is that, number one, you have a lot of intelligent attorneys that actually serve in the Texas House. And so they know that there's nothing that he can do outside of the Texas jurisdiction to bring them in. This is one of the reasons they are in another state.
Now, Governor Abbott is threatening those Dems with the risk of daily fines, among other severe consequences, like felony charges and removal from office. At stake here is control of Congress. The effort to redraw the congressional map in Texas could give Republicans up to 5 seats, giving the GOP an advantage in next year's midterms. Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows is now signing civil arrest warrants, citing dereliction of duty after dozens skipped off to blue states. But those Dems aren't backing down. Here's a few of them during a press conference in Illinois last hour. Watch.
Right now, there's folks saying that we walked out. And I think everyone behind me will say, we're standing up. And as Texans would say, we're standing tall.
What? My Republican colleagues in Texas, you wrong for this.
Okay, girl, bye.
You wrong for this. You already have the governor's office. You're the majority in the Senate, the majority in the House. What more do you want?
Okay, girl, bye.
Because every state does this. Kathy Hochul, who's now saying, oh, we're going to, what was her quote? We're going to fight fire with fire. And Gavin Newsom said the same thing. Kathy Hochul just did this in this very state 2 years ago. It's called redistricting. And elections have consequences. If you don't like it, then put someone else in office. But the people who are leaders, who are in charge, mainly Republicans in the state of Texas, this is what they want. And they have every right to do this. They do it in Democratic states as well. But these are flood victims that are not getting their legislation, not getting their money. These are people who could property tax relief for the state of Texas. These are elected officials that ran away from their job, and this is what's at stake here. But they will have to come back in 2021. Remember, they went to Washington. They put the case of Miller Lite on the bus with them, and they headed for Washington. They had to come back.
And they came back with COVID.
They did. And the bill passed, and the governor signed it into law. So they're going to have to come back and deal with this.
Right. So that's the thing. When they say, well, this is fighting fire with fire, it's not, right? When some of the valid arguments talk about voter turnout, well, the gerrymandering is sort of seizing on low voter turnout populations in part. Well, then why wouldn't the efforting be to actually foment registration and voting tendencies? Why aren't they there with their sleeves up amongst Texans instead of flitting around for TikTok?
What we see here happening in Illinois is the fight for our democracy, is the fight for America. And the people standing here today are on the front lines of that fight. These are the fighters for our democracy.
Okay, girl, bye.
The ballooning of the population has been rather transient. I mean, it isn't just a natural progression coming out of people who love Texas. They're escaping California and other blue-lit areas. And so when you get that infused, you want to make sure everybody has representation. But then he reminded us of something that you said, Joey, and that's that Illinois is one of the most gerrymandered places in the Union, in our republic, rather. I mean, that's amazing. And the fact that they would go there and Pritzker would stand up and be bold and be everybody's best friend like he does with illegal aliens because it's a sanctuary city and state. He's giving sanctuary for a different reason. If you don't like the way they are putting Texas together, you can move to Illinois. I hope he means that, because maybe some people will take him up on it. Maybe those Democrat lawmakers will just stay there.
Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, Jasmine. Well, and she doesn't like the redistricting in part because if she decides she's not going to run for Senate, and she may stay a congresswoman, it puts her residents outside the actual district, Texas 30, that she represents. So that's an interesting detail,
well,
too.
And Governor Newsom coming out and speaking out against all this, I actually find comical because in 2023, 133,000 residents moved to Texas. 94,000 of them came from California. They are fleeing Governor Newsom to Governor Abbott's state.
And while Democrats across the country are calling foul over the redistricting efforts in Texas, President Trump is pointing out the hypocrisy.
You know, those blue states that you're talking about. You know, somebody gave a good example. In Massachusetts, I think, 41% of the vote. It's a very, blue state. And yet it's got 100% of Congress, 100%. Did you notice they go to Illinois for safety? But that's all gerrymandered. California's gerrymandered. We should have many more seats in Congress in California. It's all gerrymandered. And we have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats.
When it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement, or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly, and securely. Don't wait. Decide how it ends.
Today is a new day, but I'd like to take a moment to reintroduce myself to each of you. I am ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. I am a Black American, and I am an American. I'm going to present my case in support of House Bill 318, as it is time for my unapologetic truth to be shared with all of you. First, as a people, we need to recognize that it's not just the numbers that matter, but also where the immigrants come from and the culture they bring with them to another country. As the social scientists report, all cultures are not equal. Some immigrants come and believe they can function in isolation, refusing to adapt. They have come to our country for many reasons, but I suggest they must assimilate, adapt to the culture of the country they wish to live in. No country is going to allow people to come in and not acknowledge its constitution, legal systems, and laws. They will not tolerate it. So do you think I can go to another country and set up my own rules to live by, use the language I choose, and then tell that country that you must speak my language? That's not going to happen, nor should it. As a country, the United States has been more tolerant than most other countries. Other countries are making it much more difficult to get citizenship. We have been naive. We have been exploited and abused by the different tactics to gain citizenship in America. It's time to wake up. Global migration in the past was not projected to be as it is today. We must establish new rules to address a distinct type of migration that we are facing in our country, state, and cities. It's time to turn the conveyor belt off and adopt a global migration suitable for the times that we're in. And that is not destabilizing our communities. A large number of people entering a country can change it forever. In conclusion, let me share with you all what happens when a woman lawmaker
like myself choose to move differently. Yes, I was degraded for my vote. Yes, I was called racist for my vote. And yes, I was said I was trash. However, I figured it out. They want me to stop elevating my ancestors' history. They want me to be silent in my country. They want me to line up behind their priorities while my people and communities continue to struggle in our country. Mr. Speaker.
Lady will suspend momentarily. Members, it's not a kindergarten class. I look up and I see full-grown adults, many of you senior citizens, and you're clearly trying to make noise like a young child might when they're having to sit in a classroom and listen. So please, you're not doing anything by making these noises. And if the Sergeant at Arms sees the lady who just was making the noise, the Sergeant at Arms has the chair's direction to go ahead and remove the lady. Again, folks, please, we're allowing folks on both sides of this issue to speak. If you want to come down here and debate, go run for public office. Thank you. Lady continues to have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, they want me to line up behind their priorities while my people and communities continue to struggle in our country. Mm-hmm. Is this not your country? This is my country. With the good and the not so good, this is my country, 'tis of thee. Now, if you want to adapt to my country, not isolate yourself, and come here legally, I welcome you. But today, I am telling you, I am not going to be silenced by those who disagree with my ideology on the issue at hand. Because the blood of my ancestors.
Mr. Speaker.
1 second, Representative Cunningham. For what purpose is the lady from New Hanover, Representative Butler?
I feel like we're getting into personal territory and maligning the character of the members of this body.
Well, I think the lady is speaking to the personal attacks that she received from folks outside of this body, unless I misheard what she said. And the lady is correct that it's not appropriate to talk about personal attacks of members of the body. Again, I understand her to be saying some personal things that she received from outside.
Well, Mr. Speaker, in that case, I would move the previous question.
Okay. Lady's not recognized for motion. Representative Cunningham, lady continues to have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. See, it was my ancestors who came over as slaves, built this country with a strain on their backs. They sweat pouring from their bodies in the rice fields, the cotton fields, and the tobacco farms for this country. Lived as servants and was the footstool, I said the footstool, for far too many feet to step on. So today, if you ask me to line up behind another group of people to raise awareness about their plight, I unapologetically say no. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, please accept my remarks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I got some chills listening to Representative Cunningham speak. I got some chills because she is absolutely right. This is our country. It is about time that Black Americans in America realize that this is our nation. This is our nation. The only one we got. We don't got nowhere else to go. We are Americans, and we've been here longer than a whole heck of a lot of people in this country. We have a right to this nation, and we should not be pushed to the back burner for some people that got here 5 minutes ago. She's absolutely right. They've given these illegal immigrants millions upon millions of dollars, while Black communities are still destitute. Schools in shambles. These are Democrats. These are Democrat policies. These are Democrat policies. Hey, they have not changed. They are still the same party from the 1800s. They're looking for a new voter bloc because a lot of Black people feel the way that Representative Cunningham feels. Nah, we're not going to be the low man on the totem pole in this situation so y'all can maintain power. That is not going to fly. And it's about time that people start to stand up and take their rightful place in this nation. In this nation. This is our country. We have fought. We have helped to build. We've been a part of the foundation. We are a part of the foundation of this country. And it's about time people start to recognize it and act upon it. I mean, come on, man. How many times do these people have to spit in your face before you realize that they are not for you?
But we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%, okay?
In the meantime, here in the sanctuary city of Los Angeles, ICE confirms to Fox News that 3 suspects arrested in connection with the home invasion murder of a man in the Woodland Hills neighborhood last Sunday are all in the U.S. illegally. ICE's acting director, Todd Lyons, tells Fox they are all Georgian nationals, 2 of whom were caught and released at the border after crossing illegally, and the 3rd, who overstayed a tourist visa and, listen to this, had 2 previous arrests with ICE detainers on him ignored due to sanctuary policy.
They were still allowed to stay here in the U.S. and commit crimes. So you have 3 individuals from the nation of Georgia who didn't know each other, who have now met up in the sanctuary state of California in Los Angeles and killed an innocent person. For these elected officials, I say shame on you.
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.